Welcome back to another episode of the Miami Heat Roundtable. My name is Amir, joined today by Ernest. You can find him at Miami Heat Talk, and we have Trent. You can find him at Miami Heat Network. What's up, guys?
What's up? What's up? Happy Thursday.
Yeah,
Man,
NBA trade deadline just ended a few hours ago,
Good
and
Lord.
one of the most uneventful, not just for the Miami Heat, but just in general, one of the most boring NBA trade deadlines that I could remember in the past 5 years or so. So we all know that the Miami Heat did nothing and made no moves during the trade deadline, which is fine. We'll get into that. We'll talk about that on this episode. But in general, there was not any really big moves. DeJounte Murray didn't get traded. No other All Stars like a DeMar DeRozan, Zach LaVine, or whoever that was rumored to be traded. No one got traded, right? So minimal moves, but there were a few teams that we can talk about, like the New York Knicks and the Mavs, who did make moves. And I want to be able to grade those moves and talk to you guys about did those moves move the needle for those respected teams. So, um, Trent, let's start off with you. Are you upset that the Miami Heat didn't make a move? And what are your thoughts on the Knicks and the Mavs and other teams making those marginal moves?
am I upset? Of course, I think as a Heat fan, we wanted more moves. I think that's the case, right? Because we've seen this team, even with Terry Rozier playing, they're still mediocre. I will say though, their last 5 games, I believe they're 4-1 ever since that whole film session. So they have been playing a little bit better. And yesterday's W was very convincing to me because I've been telling y'all for a while now that I don't care if it's a weak team or if it's a good team. Let's just blow a team out and let's play good on the defensive end and the offensive end. And that's what the Miami Heat have done during that game. And spoiled Victor's homecoming coming to Miami. And that's funny because they're like praising the Heat's culture at the end of the game and stuff like that with Victor. So of course I'm mad that we didn't make a move. I think we need to make a move, especially with all the Eastern Conference teams getting better and even Western Conference teams getting better. But let's be honest, if we want to be realistic, we all know after the Terry Rozier trade, that was going to be it. Like that was our big move. It is what it is. We got to ride with this team. Even the buyout people and stuff like that, it's like that's not what's going to win us a game. Like, yeah, we got lucky with Kevin Love, but our big three is what's gonna have to step up with Terry and everybody else. And Spo's just gonna have to coach the best of his ability. Players gonna have to play, and we're gonna have to go out here and beat Miami Heat Nation. I have concerns, of course. And then your other question was about other teams, right? I was talking to you in the group chat about the Knicks. I know you're not really big on them, but the Knicks are good. I honestly think they're probably one of the best teams in the league now with that move they did. Alec Burks is a proven scorer coming off the bench. And then you add Bojan Bogdanovic, who's a 20-point scorer. Now, yes, I don't think he's going to be averaging 20 with the Knicks. Obviously, less shot attempts, even less playing time. I think he'll be coming off the bench. But I did say this to one of my friends is that Julius Randle tends to struggle in the postseason, and I think Bojan will fit perfect for that, for being that consistent scorer with OG and Jalen Brunson. So I think that's a team to watch out for. They still got Josh Hart. They still got Dante D. So they have a lot of good stuff over there. And the Celtics made minimal moves, adding Xavier Tillman. It's okay. At least they made a move, right? So I think Miami, I think we're still a top team. I'm not too worried about the Cavaliers, even though they're hot. But we got to just play our best basketball, and that's what we have been doing lately.
I'm gonna keep this mad real.
Yeah.
And Heat fans, you may, you know, toast me on the comments or something like that. I ain't phased by any of these goddamn moves. I don't care what the Knicks did. I don't care what the Celtics did. I don't care what Philly did. They choke in the playoffs regardless. I don't care what Milwaukee did because they have Doc Rivers coaching them. So I've said this before and I'll say it again. Only one team in the Eastern Conference I think can beat Miami in a 7-game series, and that's Boston. Boston got Xavier Tillman. That sucks donkey dick because I looked at that deal and I said, Miami could have made that deal. I don't think we could have offered 2 second-round draft picks, but Miami could have sweetened the deal. Xavier Tillman would have been perfect here. And right there just shows you that Boston is like I gave them credit earlier today. Boston has done everything right. When they traded Marcus Smart, I'm like, idiots. Like, that was a terrible deal. You traded the heart of your team. But then they got Drew Holiday. You got Porzingis as well. They've been making these moves. They put Derek White to the starting lineup. Boston is a scary ass team, but I ain't afraid of the Knicks. I ain't afraid of the Sixers. I ain't afraid of the Bucks, the Cavaliers, the Pacers. Get out of here with them. No, you want to know why? Jimmy motherfucking Butler, Himmy, Bam Adebayo, Eric Spoelstra. Those are three names I'm going to say, and I've said it since the playoffs last year, and I'll continue to say it. You got the best playoff performer. You got the best coach. You got one of the best two-way players. If our role players step up, if Tyler is healthy and is able to unleash that dog, if Caleb Martin gets back into form, Jaime Jaquez, he wasn't with us last year. Josh Richardson wasn't with us last year. We have a better roster. I understand that these teams made trades, but Trent said it. The Heat made a trade. We already traded Terry Rozier. That, if you're noticing, Rozier is doing much better on this team. I swear to God, if the Miami Heat made that trade today, there'd be a parade in goddamn Biscayne Boulevard. But the fact that we made this trade 2 weeks ago, Heat fans are never happy. They're spoiled ever since the big three. You want more. You're clamoring for more. You're no. We need this guy. We need this guy. We need that. It just can't happen like that. All of us said it. Trent said it. I said it. You've said it, Amir. Martell has said it. That trade with Terry Rozier was the best. It was the best thing for us to do. We did it, and it worked. So now what's going to happen? The Heat are going to sit back. They're going to watch a lot of these dumbass teams making dumbass trades, releasing these quality players who are casted as outcast from these other teams, and they think, oh, that dude's not going to do anything here. And then they're going to fall to the Miami Heat, and then we're going to make the best out of it. They're going to love the weather. They're going to love our system. They're going to love the fact that they ain't paying state income tax. They finna play harder, and come playoff time, that player that was released, just like Kevin Love last year, they're going to be like, damn, that he got another one. So I'm phased. I ain't scared, and I ain't worried. Call me crazy. Call me biased. I don't give a damn. We got this.
When was the last time the Knicks won a championship?
Ha!
40 years. 41 years, I think. 1970 or 50 years almost, actually. 1973, right? That's 50 years. 51.
With Phil Jackson. Bro, I mean, I ain't knocking them. Look, the Knicks are a threat. They're a threat. But they still have playoff Julius.
Exactly.
And if we know playoff Julius, he's going to ruin it for them. I mean, I love Jalen Brunson. I love OG Anunoby. But I'm sorry, y'all. We talking the playoffs. 7-game series where Himmy Butler is unleashed. They injured Jimmy last year. We still beat that ass in a playoff series. I ain't fazed by New York. Just sorry.
Yeah. Well, they did what they should have done is they lost to us in the second round and they bolstered the shit out of the roster. They have offseason before the trade deadline, right? But to your point, I don't have faith in Julius Randle in the playoffs. No offense to Jalen Brunson, who's ascending into an all-star, right? First-time all-star. Dude's 6'1". Like, if your top two are Julius Randle and Brunson, I'm sorry, you're not winning championship, right? I know you added OG and all those great pieces, but to Ernest's point, I agree. We have Jimmy Butler, we have Bam Adebayo, and again, yes, they have a deeper team than we do now, so that could play a factor, I guess. But they're not going to beat us. They're not going to win a championship. They are going to be scary this offseason, though. Let's see how far they go, how healthy they can stay, because they have like 8 first-round picks. Let's not forget about that. They didn't use any of their first-round picks to get any of these trades. With OG specifically, that's more impressive. And then obviously adding Bojan and Burks, who are both shooting over 40% and averaging 13 and 20. So
That's cool. Heat in 6.
Kudos to the Knicks, but you haven't won in 50 years for a reason because you're the freaking New York Knicks and you guys fucking suck and spend all that money and can't even get a So to Ernest, I ain't phased. Trent,
I will say,
hop in. What do you think?
So, yeah, I mean, of course it's fuck the Knicks. I mean, I just look at each team in the NBA and I'm like, I like the moves. I'm trying to be a little bit more. I'm not saying you're not being realistic. We know what we are. We know this team could possibly be. We already beat them. They are a better team though. The only thing is, I will say they have like their role players are easily better than all role players. And I think what wins you championship is role players around their star talent. Josh Hart and Dante D are nasty. Like they're good. They're good. They play good together. And then you're adding Burks and Bojan, and Mitchell Robinson will be coming back. So that's another defensive anchor over there. Isaiah Hartstein is a backup. So they got a good roster. I will say though, their standings will be changing. They're not going to be a top seed, which people think, because OG just came out. He's going to be out for 3 weeks now with it. He had surgery. So that's something big right there. And I seen this tweet from Josh Hart. He was like, y'all better get on the PJ right now so we can play. Because, when you make a trade, your roster's shortened and you have to play like 48 minutes. So, let's just keep room for the Knicks to continue to lose. I just think they did get better, and they're trying to compete. Like, give a shout out to their front office, because, they're doing stuff, But I think, like you said, Heat in 6, just because we got the better player. We got the better star. People may not agree, because Jalen Brunson's really, really good, but playoff Jimmy compared to Jalen Brunson's a little bit different, because, playoff Jimmy is like a top two player in the NBA when he's for real.
Yeah.
So,
And look, I don't want to knock the Knicks. Look, I know I came off. I know we say fuck the Knicks, but I got to give respect where respect is due. But if you asking me, a guy that was a little boy who got his heart crushed by the New York Knicks in those playoff series, I ain't giving them shit for credit. No. However, respect, real recognizes real. They made a lot of great trades. Good for you. Heat in 6. That's all I'll say.
And I'm not going to respect the Knicks because fuck Allen Houston and that fucking spot. So I'll never forget. So, all right.
Never forget that.
I don't even know. I don't even want to waste my time talking about the Sixers and Buddy Hield, because we know Embiid's going to be out for at least 4 weeks, maybe 2 months. Who knows? 8 weeks.
That was a good trade. That was good.
It's a good trade. They all this shit about like Dorian Finney-Smith, Buddy Hield, and all these players, Royce O'Neal for a first-round pick is pretty funny, because none of that actually happened. So Buddy Hield got traded, not even for a first-round pick. So that was a good move by the Sixers, but I don't even care about that.
Hey, Amir, let's not forget, not to cut you off, they did a very questionable move, which I don't like. I don't know if they're looking at cap purposes, but they traded Pat Beverly to the Bucks for Cam Payne and a second-round pick. You obviously downgrade there, because I think Pat Bev, he brings a lot to that team.
I think they did that because it wasn't working with Cam Payne. And remember, what does Milwaukee suck at?
Defense.
No, I think it's a good move for Milwaukee. I think it's a questionable move for the 76ers.
Okay. I misunderstood.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like the 76ers move to me was questionable. I think it makes perfect sense for the Bucks, because they're like 1-4 since Doc came. You're gonna add defense next to Dame, so I think it's smart for the 76ers with Buddy Hield. It's like, it looks like you're buying and then you trade one of your best players. In my opinion,
I know they did that because I think they're getting Kyle Lowry, the 76ers.
Okay, that makes
sense.
Yep.
That's what I read. That it looks like Kyle Lowry's gonna get bought out and he is gonna go to Philly. So that's probably why.
That's a downgrade in my opinion, though.
Yeah, I would. Well,
Pat Bev that good? Come on, he's old. He's not doing much.
No, but you're not looking at the fact that what Pat Bev does. Like, we know Pat Bev is not known as a scorer, but he does everything better than Kyle Lowry outside of like somewhat playmaking. Like, Pat Bev is gonna go out there and he's gonna kill for you. That's what you like to see.
But Kyle Lowry's a way better leader, and I think Kyle Lowry is better with Joel Embiid, because Kyle's a leader. Patrick's a guy, he's a dog, but Kyle's a leader. He's quarterback one. I love that move for Philly. I think it'd be great. I'd love to bring Kyle back here if we can get him in a buyout situation, but we can, obviously, because we traded him. But yeah, if that was a possibility, I would so definitely do that.
Don't you think you're kind of taking a risk on it? Because players can say, I want to go here and go there, and then it may not happen, right? So now it's if Kyle don't go to the 76ers, they just traded away. You have Cam Payne in the second-round pick, but their whole goal is kind of messed up. But what I just want to say, because I don't care about the 76ers, fuck them. But I do want to say, though, right, the only thing that makes me a little bit scared about the 76ers, hear me out, they're not ruling out Joel Embiid. And the reason why I say this, I think he is going to come back. But let's not forget, Joel's going to be coming from injury. That's going to take him a little time to go back to his own self. But that's a lot of time off for Joel. Now, mind you, he's going to miss mainly of the regular season. If he comes back late, that's just going to make him even more scary because he missed all that time. Remember, there's so much wear and tear on Joel Embiid's body. So he's getting that break. So he's going to play his best basketball in the postseason, I'm assuming, because he has that break. Then when he's Joel's Joel's like easily the MVP this year if he doesn't get hurt. Easily. So that's the only thing that I'm a little concerned about, because if he comes back and plays how he's playing now with the Buddy Hield addition, that's just adding more spacing. And then Tyrese Maxey's playing like an all-star player this year. I'm not worried about them. I think we could beat them. But I'm just saying any day he could come back and just start dominating with an upgraded roster, a Kyle Lowry and a Buddy Hield.
I remember 2022. We played them in the playoffs. He was injured. He came back and played like trash because playoff Joel Embiid.
He's always injured.
Show it to me in the playoffs. Show it to me in the playoffs.
He's always injured. So what if this year he's actually healthy? I just want to see what he can do. I like Joel. I do like Joel. I really do like Joel. I feel bad for him.
But it's like you said, he's always injured. So give me healthy playoffs. Show it to me in the playoffs, and then we'll talk. Same thing. Look, same thing about the Knicks. And the reason why I can be this cocky is because look behind me. Look at that. Look at those championships right there. How many times have we been to the NBA Finals in the last in the last 25 years? Like, we can be cocky because we do it in the playoffs, because we know that when we get to the playoffs, we're going to turn it on. The Miami Heat are not a season team. They're a playoff team. And we prove it almost every freaking year. So I'm phased by Philly. Show it to me in the play. You want to do all these roster changes? Great. What happens when you make a bunch of roster changes in the middle of the season? It fucks up chemistry. So I'm not phased. Maybe next year we'll worry about New York. Maybe next year we'll worry about Philly. But this year, right now, you got a Miami Heat team that's fully acclimated. They're all back from last season. You have Terry Rozier finally getting accustomed with these guys. Not phased. Unfazed.
10 turnovers around there, 11.
Not too bad.
I will say this. I'm sorry, before we move forward. One thing that did piss me off. Why the fuck did you let Daniel Gafford go to another team? Like, what in the hell?
I don't think it happened.
It didn't happen. What do you mean it didn't happen?
No,
it got rescinded?
No, the trade, it was on the works. So what maybe I'm totally wrong, but they traded for PJ
I don't
Washington.
know.
No, you're wrong. I think you're wrong, bro. And Ernest, you and I are always on the same page, because I was going to say the Mavs made 2 moves for 2 power forwards, or a power forward and a center, guys that we were hoping the Miami Heat will potentially trade for. So
yeah, I want to kick Pat Riley in the penis right now. I'm kidding.
I'm pretty sure it said Gafford got traded for Rashawn Holmes and draft.
Yeah, he was traded. I mean, come on.
No,
I got
my fault. But Adrian and Shams have to do better than, because I never made the video because they just said nearing. They never said it was official, and no one ever covered it after they said nearing. They just kind of.
I think he did. I'm reading the report right now. It was posted like 7 hours ago. It
says Washington Wizards are nearing a deal to send Gafford to the Mavericks for Holmes in draft, but that doesn't mean like it's done. Maybe I looked at it wrong, but
I'm reading on ESPN.com right now. It says Gafford was traded Thursday from the Wizards to the Mavericks for Rashawn Holmes and draft compensation.
What?
So they got to steal.
Yeah. I mean, come on.
Okay, what are your thoughts on PJ? Because he got traded for Grant Williams, whatever, Seth Curry, but the first round pick. I don't think we were willing to trade our last first round pick since we were to give up one for Terry. But
that's what I think happened.
I mean, because like PJ's a 14.7 rebounds, like 38% for 3. Like, that's a bigger, I think, miss than Gafford. Fuck Gafford.
So my thing is, I'm not a pick guy. I'm not at all. Fuck first round picks. Fuck picks in general. I'm not a pick guy, because look what the Heat got.
Is too, basically.
They literally get people in the late round and they turn somewhat decent, right? So it's like, I don't give a fuck about picks. The Dallas Mavericks are at the point where they already assigned Kyrie Irving. They got Luka. You're just doing whatever it takes to win in the playoffs. So you got to respect Mark Cuban. The thing about is, I respect these owners that are actually making moves and want to make their roster as best as possible to win them a championship. That's what I respect. So, people get ripped off and this and that, but bro, they're trying to help their superstar player because they don't know how long they're going to have Luka. So you got to do whatever is possible. And this is what we was complaining about as Heat fans. Is like, before this Rozier trade, Jimmy's going to retire soon or whatever the case may be. And we're not doing nothing for him. But at least these other teams, like, they're doing something. They're trying to make moves to prove their roster. So I mean, I like the PJ Washington's a little bit overrated, though. I'm not gonna lie, a little bit overrated. But Gafford's definitely a good move. Rashad Holmes didn't even play.
I mean, Miami did get Jimmy Rozier. It's basically an 8-year younger Kyle Lowry. So I think that was the right deal. I think after the All-Star break, I think this Heat team's going to turn it around. We've seen it from Jimmy the last few. Ever since they announced the All-Stars, Jimmy was like, okay, now I can play basketball. Like, he didn't want to get picked. Like, that's what I think happened.
So
I think Jimmy slows down in the first half of the series because he's like, if I play awesome, they're going to book me in that All-Star crap, and I don't want to go. I want to take a week off.
You better not.
Every year this happens since 2022. Since the 2022 season, bro, he just plays out of his mind the second half after the All-Star break. Dude just don't want to go to All-Star weekend.
No, I agree. I just think my thing, Ernest, is I'm not the depth on paper is better, but I need to see it consistently, and we haven't seen that consistently. That's all I'm worried about. It's just about consistency. Consistency it helps you on YouTube, helps you in real life at your job.
Yep.
So the same thing as basketball, consistency. I want our guys to play like that because one day Haywood Highsmith is in our rotation, the next day he's out, and Josh Richardson is playing 30 minutes, and the next day, like, I get that's all coaching and rotation and stuff like that. I get all that, but then you got players like they're role players for a reason. But let's have one role player like Caleb. Remember, Caleb was a consistent role player. Consistent role player. We don't have that because Duncan at the moment can't fucking hit a shot. Who's a consistent role player right now?
Jaime.
Yeah, but ever since he came back from injury, what's going on? He has not played.
Well, let's give Jaime another week, I guess.
No, so I'm not. I love it, but in the beginning of the season, Ernest, I agree. He was balling, but ever since injury, hasn't. You know what I'm saying? It's still a little bit off. So if he gets back to that, then I'm fine with it because you have that consistent
I think he has the last couple games. I mean, last game he did pretty good. Look, we're not going to see Jaime did what he did because Tyler takes away from Duncan and Jaime. That's what we see.
Yeah, look,
I'm not going to get you started on Tyler. I'm not. But I'm just saying.
I don't even want to talk about Tyler no more because he just gets me frustrated. I feel like my last question about Tyler is going to be to our special guests. But, dude, it's just like he gives me a headache.
He had a great game yesterday. He had a great game.
He did.
Great. Let's leave it. We'll get to Tyler next. But all right, so let's switch gears though. So again, nothing big outside of a couple moves with the Knicks and Mavs and Healed and whatnot. But one other one. I don't want to talk about this, but just to bring it up. Gordon Hayward to the Thunder was a pretty good move, man.
That was a good move.
Into that young ass team, and he's healthy. That's a good move right there.
Can I just speak on it for a second? Just a second.
West got stronger with that move.
No. So that's a great move, and it's an underrated move, right? So he's on an expiring contract. Let's not forget. I believe it's on an expiring deal. So OKC Thunder was like, you know what? We need a leader because the OKC are going to be in the postseason this year. And who's on that roster that has experience? Like, let's be fair. Even the coach is brand fucking new. So, like, you add him to your locker room, and he's a 14.5-point scorer. So, I love this move. I really, really love it. And I think he's going to play great with Shea and all those young pieces over there. So, good shit, OKC.
Yeah, good move. So, but let's talk about buyout stuff because now we all expected that the Heat, after getting Rozier, wouldn't really do anything if we didn't move Caleb, which we didn't. So, buyout market. We don't know exactly who's going to be bought out right now, but there are limitations based on us being in the first apron. So, any player that is making $12.4 million or more, we're not allowed to buy out. So, that takes out Joe Harris, Marcus Morris, Spencer Dinwiddie, whoever made above that. Surprisingly, there's a good amount of people, and there's people like Evan Fournier, like 18 million. There's like guys that are making a lot of money that you wouldn't expect. But anyway, I know Trent made a video earlier today. We have some candidates like Gallinari.
So I'm gonna share the screen so we can talk about it. I'll share the screen.
So, who do you think the Miami should focus on in terms of buyout candidates? Who stands out for you guys? One
thing I want to talk about when it comes to the buyout, and probably Heat fans don't know this, with the trade that we made for Terry Rozier and Kyle Lowry, we actually put ourselves under a certain bracket with the luxury tax. So now the Miami Heat unlocked a $5 million mid-level exception. So we don't only have to give a minimum contract. We can actually pay a player a little bit more. And one guy that I'm looking at that was bought out a couple hours ago, Thaddeus Young. Thaddeus Young, 6'8". Dude's averaging 5 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, a steal a game. He's only played 15 minutes. Can't hit threes worth shit, but his career, I mean, that's only this season. He's shooting 16%, but for his career, he shot 32%. I think he gives the Miami Heat team a boost, like a little boost in the front court. 6'8", 225 pounds. I mean, I don't know about as a starter. I don't know if you start him over Caleb Martin, but at least he gives you another option. I like Thaddeus Young. I know you said we can't get Marcus Morris. How much was he making?
17 million.
Yeah, so yeah, he would have been great, but no.
Y'all see this comment right here? That's why I was laughing. I wasn't laughing at you, Ernest, but the kid said Rafael Lopez filling in the Deadman Zeller row, and then you got this meme right here. Yo. Yo, I was laughing at this because this is so. I can see the Heat bringing in Robin Lopez.
No, please don't.
Good God.
But these are just the people that he brought up. Andre Drummond, I don't know where he got the Andre Drummond because he's staying with the Bulls and he's not getting bought out. So I didn't even bother talking about Andre Drummond because then that's just like a pipe dream. That's just not happening. But like you said, Thaddeus Young, very intriguing. But you know who a player that I'm very intrigued in and hasn't played much this year, but Otto Porter Jr. The reason why I'm very intrigued in him. Remember, guys, these are buyout candidates, so they're not going to be the best players. But Otto Porter Jr. played a very important role for the Golden State Warriors back in the day, even for the Wizards, and was like 11, 12-point scorer who is a big body, you know? He's about 6'8", 230, and has a little three to his game. And I know that's one of our main stuffs of, having short people like Caleb and, Haywood Highsmith and this and that. I don't want to talk about too deep into it, but we don't know what's going to happen with Haywood. That's a lot of stuff that, so we're kind of, I don't know what's going to happen with that. But adding Otto, I wouldn't mind adding Otto Porter Jr. to this team. He's not the greatest, but like I said, bro, we're not going to get the best people out of the buyout market.
No.
So, I look at Otto Porter Jr. and I think he's better than Gallinari in the sense that he can actually move his feet. Gallinari's fucking slow ass can't move his feet. I think Gallinari has the bigger name, but he can't move his feet. The dude's slow.
Neither can Otto. Dude, I'm looking at Otto. He's played 8 games last year.
He's injured. He's been injured.
Always
He's been injured.
The fluky year with the Golden State Warriors to win the
Don't say it's fluky though. Don't say it was just. It was a good system. It was a good system.
Oh no, not the way they won. The fluke was that he played 63 games and was healthy with the Warriors. Because if you look back, last season 8 games. 2 years ago when he won with the Warriors, 63. The year before after that, 3 games, 25, 28, 14, 15, 40. He has not played more than 63 games since he was 25 in 2018. So kudos to the Warriors for getting him all these.
We can't hate on biomarker candidates, bro. Do you see this list? They're all bad. What do you like? They're all bad.
There's no definitive list yet because it's still day one. You know what I mean?
Well, Thaddeus Young was bought out. So the name that I put was someone that was actually bought out. So
all these pieces are bad. Like Thaddeus Young, don't get me wrong, he is a good fit, but I don't even see him signing with Miami. Like just like he's gonna sign to Boston or some shit, bro. It's like
I think Ira Winderman reported that there was mutual interest with Thaddeus Young.
Have the interest, please. But
8 years ago, that would have been dope when he was 20.
Of course, yeah. Did y'all hear the thing about PJ Tucker that he wanted to come back to Miami? But now that he wanted Miami to trade for him. Miami was basically like, fuck you. You left us. Go get bought out. And then PJ basically told the Clippers because they didn't trade him. So they're like, you want to get bought out? He's like, no, because he wants to make the rest of his money, which he stupidly signed back in Philly. If you guys don't remember, we offered that dumbass an 8-year, $27 million contract. That's the same money he's making right now. But the reason why, because remember, he's paying state taxes. And in California, Amir, you know this, they're fucking high. So he's not seeing a lot of that money back. But that dumbass went to Philadelphia because he wanted to be known as a $10 million player. So it makes me chuckle and giggle that he can't get traded anywhere else, and now he doesn't want to get bought out because that's an attitude of a moron. So congratulations,
I don't
PJ
even
Tucker.
want him on my team though. He sucks, bro. I watched him, bro. He played like 12 games with the Clippers and he was unplayable. The dude's garbage, dog.
He's too old. He's
He's
over
terrible. Like, bro, I don't even want him. I think, bro, like freaking DeLon Wright is probably better than this dude at this point. Like, and DeLon Wright is ass.
It's
like,
just
PJ Tucker, tough. I think it's just a name, and everybody's like, well, he played good with Miami, so it's going to be the same thing. Like, maybe, but no, like, he sucks. He's not good no more. Like, no one wants this dude. He was a part of a trade involving Harden. It wasn't like they wanted Tucker. They just threw that dude in there. He sucks.
Yeah.
He's gonna be out the league soon. I'm telling you, he's going to be out the league soon.
Of course.
I thought you bring him on this team. Remember what Jimmy used to say? He would guard the best player. He would bust his ass. I know he's 38, but he hasn't really played. Maybe he has some energy in him. He comes down to Miami, back where he was. Maybe it would have sparked something. But no, you guys are right. I just really don't see a point. We shouldn't be filling a spot for a guy like PJ Tucker. We should fill it for somebody who can actually play and help, like a Thaddeus Young. My opinion.
That's awesome.
Also, think about this shit. 2020 bubble. We did the same thing, signing a 39-year-old Andre Iguodala. He had his moments. He still was good defensively. He had the hands, the good swipes and steals, but like he helped us a little bit in the bubble. But ultimately, he was not the same Iguodala from when he was on the Warriors winning championships. Right? It's like that's what PJ is right now. It's like that old ass dude can help us a little bit, but he's over the hill.
Can we get Victor back? Is that a realistic thing?
We could, and but the thing is that he's injured. So
that guy's plays like that's worse than Otto Porter, man. At least
listen, Amir. You can't hate on these buyout market candidates, bro. You just can't. Every name cannot be hated on, bro. Because they all suck. They all suck. You can't name me one good candidate in the buyout market right now. They all suck. If you say Spencer Dinwiddie, he can't hit it. He can't hit a shot no more. Dude, he forgot to shoot. He literally forgot to shoot the ball.
That's fair, but he doesn't suck. But okay, I'm not gonna even.
If you can't shoot in this league, you're not going nowhere, bro.
or if you can shoot in this league, you get a big ass contract like a Davis Bertans and Joe Harris and Duncan.
And don't touch the court no more. And don't touch the court no more.
Right? Yeah.
Insane.
Let me bring up one last point though, real quick. That this guy might be a buyout candidate, and we haven't brought him up yet because obviously. We're trying to bring back every goddamn former Miami Heat player. We did that with Jay Rich. We're trying to get freaking PJ Tucker back in the house.
We're not trying.
Kelly Olynyk got traded to the Raptors. I don't know why or how for a first-round pick. Is Kelly O going to be a buyout candidate? Or are the Raptors going to keep him because he's Canadian and they brought him home? To your point,
that's what I read. I posted a short about it, and I even posted a video about it today because they did get Kelly Olynyk, but they also did get a former first round draft pick. I can't pronounce that dude's name. Sorry, but he was a former first round pick. So I guess that's how Toronto's seeing it. They're getting a piece for the future. With Kelly, I even read a report that I think they're talking about a contract extension, maybe. Really? It looks like they might be looking to keep him. Now, this is all hearsay. There's a possibility that Toronto can buy him out, but they gave up a first-round pick to get him, so I don't really see that happening.
Man, I'm tired of Toronto. They do the most stupid and most useless trades in the world. Because it's like, bro, you have 18 wins. What are you doing trading for Kelly Olynyk, dog? Like, I get it. You want the younger guy. But, bro, Kelly Olynyk deserves to be on a championship team, not on the bum-ass Toronto Raptors, dog. They're not even in the postseason. They're probably not even going to make the play-in, bro. And it's, like, why? I never understand the direction. I never understand it. I never understand the direction.
Who knows?
They won a championship sooner than we have. It's been 10 years for us. They won 3 years ago. So, but still, yes, obviously, screw the Raptors and Masai. I don't know what the hell he's smoking on right now. Adding Kelly Olynyk for a first-round pick, that shocked me. I thought when that happened early on, they were setting the market. I'm like, oh my god, Kelly Olynyk is getting a first. Like what is DeJounte going to get? Like what are all these other players going to get if he's getting that? But then obviously that wasn't the case, as we saw. Bojan and Burks and Gafford and other players like that all go for second-round picks and just, scrubs. So, anyway, I don't know. I think that's all we have for today's episode. The Miami Heat we're playing better. We won 4 out of the last 5. Jimmy's got a triple-double the last game, looking engaged. I know we're beating teams that we should beat because I don't think the Magic are good. I still think they're trash, and they're a trash franchise, and they always will be. But obviously they've improved. With the Trent's point, it's nice to see us finally get double-digit wins and actually win with authority for once. So it's a good sign, but the schedule only gets harder at this point, right? I know we're playing the Celtics, which I'm not going to watch because that's on Super Bowl Sunday, so fuck that game. Even if I wasn't a Niner fan, I'd still want to watch that game. But then we have they're playing on the road against the Bucks and a few other teams. So again, we're still in the thick of that tough schedule you mentioned earlier.
Yep, we got Boston, we got Milwaukee, and we got Philly. So hope we can get 2 out of 3 at least.
Yes, sir. And then like we're playing Portland. Hopefully we could bust their ass and get in the win.
Definitely will.
We definitely will. So anyway, thanks for hopping on, guys. Good episode, and we'll talk to you guys soon.
Oh yeah, and don't forget, guys, click the like button. Don't forget to subscribe. Team to beat Miami Heat, Miami Heat Network, Miami Heat Talk. Like, subscribe to each channels, you guys. We're all doing our own thing. Support the channel. We'd really appreciate it, you guys. And until next time, that is enough said.